Artificial intelligence has come a long way. It's just insane how you can take a picture, upload it to artificial intelligence, and it can create a 3D object from one picture. But it's not perfect. We'll talk about that on the 3D printing zone. Many years ago, I watched the show called The Office. I've actually watched it many times since then, but I remember a part where Michael Scott had a small Michael Scott as his Halloween costume. Halloween's not for a while, but I thought it'd be fun to create a mini Mick that could sit on my shoulder for Halloween in the event that I decide to go trick-or-treating with my kids, or maybe I get invited to a dinner party. That'll be my costume. I have never 3D modeled a face before, and I think it would take me weeks to learn how to do it good. So instead, I'm going to go to HiTem 3D, upload an image, and see if I can get that to be good enough to sit on my shoulder for a Halloween costume. If you go to hitem3d.ai, you'll have access to so many already pre-made models for you. There's everything from an axe to a dragon to a pumpkin carriage. I mean, these are just things that other users have created or HiTem 3D has created. But what if you want to create something yourself? That's what we're going to do today. I'll go ahead and add an image of my face, and then I'll click generate. HiTem 3D just came out with a new release, the version 2.0. Basically, that means it has higher fidelity textures and it's 3D print ready. Let's see what this looks like. Oh my gosh. Okay, if you're unsure about your securities and you want AI to bring out your insecurities, that's it right here. From just one image, it did a pretty good job creating 3D Mick, but I've never seen my nose that big before. You tell me, does my nose look that big? I also apparently have more smile lines or wrinkles than I thought I had, so that's pretty funny.
I'm old!
Now, from one image, it's hard to get the full picture. You can see my hat, the brim is shorter than it really is in real life. I also don't know if my posture is this bad normally. Maybe you can tell me, but the posture's a little poor. And then the last thing I'll bring up is look at this hair going around my ear. Like, I'd be impressed if I had that much hair. I actually don't have that thick of a beard, so I like what it did to the beard. But let's try doing something a little different. Let's try adding 4 images of my whole body and see if it can come up with something a little more accurate. To add multiple images, just go to the multi-view to 3D. I'll add the front, back, left, and right. You don't have to add all 4 images, but any image you add is going to help the artificial intelligence machine learn a little better what you're trying to build, learn a little more, and have more detail on what you want it to look like. Let's check this one out. This came out looking a lot better as far as proportions and making sure it's a little more accurate to my face, my hat. You can even see the logo on the back a little bit. But the one thing that it really focused on that makes me look a little ridiculous is my face. I thought the last one had a lot of wrinkle lines. This one has aged me even more, which is hilarious. And it'll be fun to see when we print this what it looks like. When I started this video, I talked about how the image to AI model is not perfect. Let me highlight some of the issues we're seeing here and how we can get rid of those. If I zoom in, you can see on this left side, there's these artifacts, these lines. You can see them on the hat a little bit, even down here on the neck. When I come around to the back, you can really see it on the back of my head. There's also this weird thick line here. I'm pretty sure I have never had a hair transplant and I don't have a big scar going across the back of my head. And this right side is almost worse, where you can see on the hat, there's just these rings that show up. There's rings on my face, rings underneath my ear. And then coming around to the front, there's a little bit on my forehead. There's these lines on my nose. And of course, there's the wrinkles on my face, which I guess I just have to accept that.
Oh, I'm like the Crypt Keeper!
I want to see if we can take this model and 3D print it and then fix some of these issues, 3D print that one, and see if there's a difference between the two models. There are a lot of different formats you can download this file. For this project, I'm just going to choose STL. I'm adding this to the slicer, and the slicer I'm using for this purpose is Bamboo Studio. Now, the first thing I want to do is rotate this, and we will scale this up to 100 millimeters, and let's change the color to gray. You can still see those fine artifacts on the print. It's on my face, it's on the sides of my head, the back, and then again, there's that scar. We're going to print this as is, and then we will print a new version where we've cleaned this up a bit, and I'll show you how to clean it up. I'll send this to the printer now. While that's printing, let's add this model into a free sculpting software called Blender and see if we can clean that up. If you've never used Blender before, you may want to take a quick tutorial. It's a little different than Fusion 360, Tinkercad. The controls are a little different to navigate things, so you may want to do a quick tutorial first. Now to clean up this print, I first need to go over to the object mode and click on sculpt mode. Now that I'm in sculpt mode, what I want to do is smooth out some areas. So I'm going to click on smooth. I can choose how big I want the radius for the smoothing tool. I actually want a little smaller. And then I can also change the strength. So we'll do this. Watch this. I'm going to take my 70-year-old age down to my 20s with just one little click and slide. Ready? It's like magic. People would pay for this. I mean, people do pay for this. Okay, one eye is down. Let's try the other eye. And there you go. I just dropped 50 years in age, just like that. I'll continue to clean up this model. We'll get the sides of my face. We'll do the back. We'll do the front. I'll also get underneath the ears and the neck. Something I want to focus on is this line in the back of my head. I don't know where that came from. Maybe there was a shadow in the image, but let me go ahead and see if I can smooth this out as much as possible. It almost looks like I'm blurring it, but it really is making it smooth. And yeah, that surface looks a lot better now. Like I said earlier, the right side looks the worst. So I'm going to clean this up and just make it look a little cleaner than if I were to just 3D print it like this. And there you go. Not only am I younger, I look cleaner. Let's give this a try. Let's put this on the printer and then we'll compare those two prints. All right, for this first print, it came out looking pretty clean. There are some weird layer lines on this piece and a few places at the top. You can see like right here. I think that's because this is such a thin piece that there's very little room for error. Maybe if I made it all solid, it'd look better. But I mean, I guess it kind of looks like me. You can see the wrinkles in the eyes. Since this is such a small scale, you don't see as much of the artifacts on the face. It'll be interesting to see with the other one, if you can see those artifacts. Here's that weird line on the back of my head. We cleaned that up in the other file. And here's some of the artifacts, not the lines, but you can see the design on my face. So that's what this one looks like. This one came out with the same weird lines. When we do the colored one, we're going to scale this to be bigger, and hopefully that will fix those weird lines. Maybe I just need to try a different printer. But when I compare these, you can see those artifacts are missing on this left one. This is the new one. So you don't see those artifacts at the top. I also don't have those wrinkly eyes. So you can see the eyes are not as wrinkly. Going around back, you can see that scarring is missing on the back. We got that cleaned up. And besides the horizontal lines, which again, I'm hoping as we scale this, those will go away. You don't see these artifacts here because we cleaned those up in Blender. Let's try doing one at a bigger size with the unedited part. See if we can see those artifacts a little better. While that's printing, let's go color this one and see how it looks. I just added the newly refurbished mic onto the slicer Bamboo Studio, and you can already see this is going to be a lot more smooth than the last print. There's still a tiny bit of that bump on the back of the head, but it's a lot better. If I wanted to, I could even go smooth it more with the sculptor. Like I said earlier, I am not a sculptor. I don't know how to do modeling in that sense. It would take days for me to try and sculpt something even remotely as close to this, but I don't have time for that. Now that we have this added, we have it at the right scale. Let's go ahead and throw some color. I have printers that can do a lot of colors, but for this one, we're just going to stick to 6. We'll do black and white for the eyes. We'll do a dark gray for the hat, lighter gray for the shirt, and then we'll do a skin color and then brown for my eyebrows and my hair. I'm not going to try to do the beard. If you've never colored in Bamboo Studio or in Orca Slicer, and you're wondering why isn't this little painter color thing showing up here, first, you need to select on your part. If you select it and it's still not showing this painter, that means you probably only have one color. So if you come over to the right, you can click on this plus sign and add more colors. Once you do that, it should show up over here on the top right. Once I click on it, it takes me into the color mode. I'm actually going to move this to give me more real estate. This would be a very quick overview of how to color in shapes, just some of the things and tips I've learned. But we'll do a whole video on best practices when it comes to coloring parts, how to color it more accurately, and how to work faster. Generally, I like to start larger and color in as much as I can. Then I'll choose a smaller paintbrush and do the fine detail at the end. But the first thing I want to do is try to horizontally paint in as much of the colors as I can. To do that, I'll click on the height range. We're going to blow this all the way up. We already have the shirt color, so I don't need to focus on that. What I will do first is this hat. So we're just going to start coloring the hat in and probably go to about right here. If I keep going lower, it's going to color everything else. Actually, you know what? Since everything else is the same color anyways, let's just get the hat all the way colored. Now we have the hat colored. Let's go ahead and give my skin some color. I want to try and avoid having to repaint the shirt anymore, so we're going to go right above the shirt and just start coloring the skin. This probably looks weird, and I'm sure there's better ways to do this. This is just what I do at first. Now that we have the biggest portions colored, let's use a paintbrush tool and start coloring the rest. I could make this paintbrush pretty big and start coloring all these areas. Something I found that is more of a shortcut is to just outline where I want the color to be, and then I fill in the middle section. That might be hard to understand. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say I wanted to color the rest of my face, but I don't want to have to drag a brush all around it. If I make an outline, and I'm doing this kind of fast because we're on a video, but I would probably do this a little slower, a little more detail. But the first thing I do is I outline the part that I want to be colored. Now that that's outlined, all I have to do is click on fill, and I can fill that whole section. So instead of taking a brush and going everywhere, if you just do the outline of what you want, make sure that outline is fully connected, then you can fill in the whole part. Despite these shortcuts, painting still takes a while, so we're going to fast forward and just show you what it looks like finished. And there you go, we have a finished model. I changed the colors a little bit more, but this looks good enough. Let's print this. Let's go look at how the other print is doing and compare these two full-size models to see how the quality compares from the one that was not modified to the other one, which we tried to smooth out some of those lines. These came out looking awesome. It's just wild. I was able to do this without any 3D modeling. Just crazy. On the 80-year-old model, you can definitely see those artifacts, those lines. But when we switch over to this one, it is smooth, it is clean, and it looks amazing. But how does it look on my shoulder? This is hilarious. It's like a mini Mick. I would say it doesn't look exactly like me, but maybe that's because I've never seen myself in 3D. So you tell me, does it look like the same person? Do we look similar? I didn't get the skin color right. I probably should have used a darker color, but this is hilarious. It's amazing. It's crazy that artificial intelligence was able to create this without me doing anything. Have you ever used artificial intelligence? Have you ever done anything like this? If you have, I'd love to see some of your models. Please put in the comments some links of models you've created. If you've created yourself, I'd love to see that as well. If you're interested in using HiTem 3D, I'll put a link in the description. And if that comes with any type of coupon codes or anything, I'll put those down below as well. If you'd like to see how I designed a nightstand for my daughter, take a look at this video.